Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing well. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about a topic that's been on my mind, and I hate to say it, but this is actually my second round of filming this. I was originally outside and I had just finished my walk, and yeah, it was nice, but the wind just became such a nuisance and it became more bothersome than complimentary because I don't mind some nature sounds and stuff like that, but it got to the point where once I watched the video that I was like, wow, it's actually cutting out some of my audio, and I didn't want to have that. So I decided to film it again. My nose started running anyway, so it was just like I was gonna leave that in there because I don't mind little blips like that, little things that um are natural to, when you film stuff. But just the wind cutting out, I didn't like that, so I decided to refilm. So I wanted to talk to you all today about holding your faith and your trust and your commitment to your truth while you're on your journey. Okay? Because there's going to be a lot of things that you're compelled to do and that you're guided to do on your journey that people are not going to understand. And they may try to offer their 2 cents or their advice or their suggestions as to what you're supposed to be doing and what they think would serve you better than what you're currently doing. And I think it's really important for us to understand that whether it's friends, family, um, could be romantic partners, or, whoever it is that is, supporting us and is deeply connected to us, that a lot of times these people are not trying to be harmful. Their intention is really to offer support, and they're trying to get you to a space that they feel would be better for you. So they really do have good intentions. But unfortunately, it is coming from a place of their own projections of their relationship with life, how they feel life is supposed to be lived, and how they feel your life is supposed to look like. Because a lot of the things that you may be guided to do on your journey may be 180 degrees opposite to what is normal, what is considered normal, and what is considered to be average, like what the average person does. And it may be hard for people to understand why you would want to veer outside of normality or why you would want to do something different. And this is especially true when things start to get difficult on your end, because whatever it is that you are guided to do from your heart, it may not always be, sunshine and roses. You will have difficulties, because in these moments, this is where you're being guided to a place of greater freedom. And sometimes in those periods of coming into greater freedom, you enter like initiatory periods where things get really tough. And in those moments, people are like, well, why don't you just do normal stuff? Why do you even have to do what you're doing? And it's very important at these times where you're being challenged in life experience, where you're receiving outside opposition or misunderstanding, that you stay strong in your truth and you hold to it and not allow people to push you off course. And we have to understand that a lot of what they're saying, besides being well intentioned, is coming from their own relationship with life. And if we understand that it's just a perspective, then it makes it easier for us to hold to our truth, because it's only a viewpoint based on past experience and what maybe their own goals for their own life, or how they want to live their life, and what they're happy doing or what they think they're happy doing. It really is a perspective that is unique, to them. And I think we have this idea in our world, the world that we've created in this time, that someone's perspective is the ultimate truth. And sometimes that causes us to feel like, well, if that's what's working for them, and that's what they feel is true for them, it must be the truth ultimately, and that is not true. So, in these moments where you're experiencing doubt from the outside, people that don't understand, that is your cue to tap even more into your truth and what you feel is in alignment with the current facet of your mission. I say the current facet because there's many facets that may unfold over our lifetime. So in those moments, it's even more important to tap into your truth and really stay strong in that, because when you're experiencing like challenges through life, these initiatory periods, and people that don't get what you're doing and why you're doing it, why don't you just go back to school, why don't you get a regular job, why don't you do this, yada yada yada, it can be easy to be like, you know what, maybe they're right, because I'm having difficulty and things aren't working out how I thought they would work out, so maybe they're right. No, that's your opportunity to be like, okay, this is their perspective. And even though I'm going through challenges at this time, that doesn't mean that there isn't a deeper meaning for the challenges, or a blessing that can be gained from the challenges. So that's your opportunity to really just, tap even more so into your truth. Because you're not meant to blend in. You're not meant to waver to other people's expectations. This is very different than being in a space of see how different I am, see how unique I am, and trying to get people to see what you're standing for and who, like, it's not necessary. You can do so naturally just by holding true, like holding steadfast to your conviction of your truth. That's just automatic. People will see and understand, like, wow, like this person is really dedicated and they're really committed to what they feel to be true. So there's no need to force it into being or force it into expression. Okay. So in these times where you're receiving opposition, this is taking us into the next topic, or the next part of this topic, is that you can acknowledge that it's a different perspective, as opposed to getting into an argument, as opposed to trying to convince people that your way is right. It's going to happen. Like, that's just part of the journey. You're going to have that experience where you want to argue. You want to see, why don't you see that this is the right thing for me? But at some point, as you're blossoming and opening up and doing your thing, you see that, wow, that takes a lot of energy and that it's not necessary. And you see, besides those kinds of situations, that anything that requires a certain amount of effort, like force, you start to back away from. So, and we don't even realize how much effort we exert in our daily lives. How many things that we feel like we need to do that are unnecessary and that are actually out of alignment with our truth. Because in our society, there's always this expectation that you're going to do in such a way that proves your value, that proves your worthiness, that proves that you're a productive member of society. And it actually puts people in a space where they're acting out of alignment. And then they get tired and drained, and they sacrifice their health and sacrifice their relationships. I mean, it's not conducive to any kind of holistic, development, any kind of development. So, we expend so much energy, but at some point on the journey, you get tired of that. And this is why I say acknowledgement versus getting wound up or getting immersed in something. It is a lot more, I guess profound to just acknowledge something as opposed to getting wound up in it. You can acknowledge it, you can see, okay, I see what you're saying, and then move on with your life. The same thing applies to any sort of conspiracy theories or perceived secret agendas that people are looking into. I'm not saying that you can't speculate. I'm not saying that you can't wonder. I'm not saying that you can't see what all the possibilities are. But because we live in such a polarized society where people live in such an extreme way, where either they're completely immersed in something and they lose themselves to it, or they have no idea what's going on, people have a tendency to really drown themselves in information, or all kinds of information. So, and I think it's much more beneficial to say, okay, I see that things are not as they seem. And then you move on with your life, as opposed to looking up hundreds of articles on Google and, watching videos on, deeptruth.net or whatever kind of sites that people go on. It's not healthy. And we have to come to a place of balance in our journey. You'll see at some point that being completely immersed and allowing things to drown you out is just not conducive to overall health and well-being. The same thing goes for healing and the healing process. It's the difference between acknowledging that healing is occurring and observing it and allowing it to flow, and getting attached to the healing process. So it's comparable to tapping someone on the shoulder and actually snatching someone up and smothering them. Anything that you drown, anything that you suffocate, anything that you get like intensely attached to cannot unfold properly. So we have to allow ourselves to be in the space of allowance and just allowing life to unfold as it needs to, as opposed to feeling like we need to attach ourselves to every bit of the process. So this can be applied in many different ways. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I have some other things that I'd like to share too, but I'm going to save that for another video because it's a different topic. So just pay attention to whether you have me on Facebook or whether you have me on YouTube. Just pay attention to my community on YouTube, because I like to post updates on there too. And I like to keep you all updated through posting my blogs and my thoughts and just any new reflections, any new offerings that I have for you. So I think that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for listening. Check out the description box if you want to go to my website and check out what I have there. I have a nice little community on my website that you can join if you become a member. It's free. I don't charge for anything, community-wise on there. So if you become a member and you send a request to become a member of my Cosmic Corner, I post updates on there and even other videos on there that I don't post on my regular YouTube channel or on any other social media platforms, because I get tired of being on social media sometimes. I'm trying to reduce the amount of time I'm spending on social media. So that's a way to interact with you all without having to be on a platform that's, sometimes is draining. So thank you so much for watching. I send you all so much love. Take care. Bye-bye.